What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. I checked out Greenland. Greenland is a disaster film, which actually I think came out in summer of 2020. But it's actually out on Amazon Prime now, so I checked it out. And it is directed by Ronin and stars Gerard Butler. Now, this is a disaster film, and I've seen lots of disaster films. I actually really enjoy them. They're a lot of fun to watch. I'm pretty sure you have seen a lot of disaster films. Now, what type of disaster film is this? Well, this type of film, Greenland, it falls in the same realm as Armageddon and Deep Impact. Now, what do they all have in common? Well, we got a giant asteroid that's hurtling its way towards Earth, and they got to deal with it. So, but this one's a little different, okay? They don't want to repeat Armageddon. They don't want to repeat Deep Impact. They want to tell you a different story, but still have the same excitement of the same, I don't want to say excitement. I want to say intensity as the other two films. So, well, what Armageddon has? Armageddon's a fun film, okay? Armageddon's a Michael Bay film, and it's about preventing the asteroid from hitting Earth, okay? Deep Impact is a little bit more serious, and it is a film about preventing it from hitting Earth. They fail, and now they got to deal with it, okay? Now, what is Greenland about? Well, it is just about dealing with it. It's just about, like, it's set in the realm of reality, okay? They're not going out there they're not thinking of ways to prevent this disaster from happening. Instead, they're trying to survive it. This one is about the human story. This isn't about the government and you know what NASA's trying to do to prevent it. This is a very, very human story. And I think that's actually something that, well, at least I needed to see, because I've seen so many films about these people trying to prevent disasters, and if it's not about that, then it's about a family that is trying to survive it, but it's a really fun film with you know, really fun moments. Okay, this one is complete opposite of that. It's serious. It's a more emotional story. It's definitely got a very human touch to it. And at the end of the day, it's about the human reaction. How do humans react towards a disaster like this? Like, if this were to happen in real life, how would people react? So, you know how there's movies like 12 Monkeys and other movies about infectious disease, like a pandemic? Well, you know what Contagion did with that genre of disaster movies, the virus, the pandemic genre? Greenland does for this genre, because Greenland is actually a more serious take on the asteroid and on asteroid movies, the same way that Contagion is the more serious take on pandemic films. So this is a very serious film, and we get to see what goes on street level. We don't, like, the director never focuses on anything that goes on in outer space, or what NASA is doing, or what the government is doing. It's all about this family that is trying to survive. And the husband is, and father is played by Gerard Butler. And like I said, it's a very, very emotional story. It gets pretty intense in the sense that they're dealing with other humans that are trying to fight for survival as well. And I really like that about this film, because it's very, very character driven, and you're put into these situations. The director brings you to these situations which are very, very uncomfortable, because as humans, we thought that we should be trying to come together and help each other, but it turns out we're all very selfish, which is 100% true, and we get to really see that. And it really makes us feel uncomfortable. At least that's how I felt when I saw these human characters get put into these situations. And you feel like, man, these are intense times. So they really captured that. And I really like how they did that. And I'll be completely honest, I really like Armageddon. It's a lot of fun. I also do like Deep Impact. It's a different take on the same subject. But I think that out of all of them, Greenland is actually the best one out of those three, because it's just a lot more realistic and more intense. And it just makes you feel a lot more engaged, and you're just you're just in a better sense of reality here. It feels easier to connect with the situation. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I like those other two films, but this one really has me, it's more grounded and I have a better connection with it. But out of all of them, I feel that Armageddon is the one that's a real ride. That one's the most exciting one. But I still like Greenland a lot. I really do like it. Is it perfect? No, not at all. Because I really have an issue with, I wouldn't say the convenient things in the film. I really don't mind that at all. I think the things that I have an issue with, and this is not a big deal, and that is like some things we already know what's going to happen. But another thing that, the one thing that I find is the most cliche thing is why do the characters always have to be separated, divorced, or like the estranged? You know what I'm saying? Why do they always have to be like that? Why does it always have to be that the main character is trying to reconnect with a family member, like a wife, a daughter, a son? Like, why does it always have to be like that? It's so cliche, and they always use it as a gimmick to bring us that human touch. Because at the end of the day, we know they're going to come together, okay? I mean, we just know. I mean, if you've seen any other disaster movie, you know that, it's always a disaster that brings people together. And, that's the theme with all these disaster films and disaster situation as a whole. But why do we always have to see that? Like, that's the part where I find very, very predictable. And, it's a gimmick, right? We've already seen this storytelling trope many, many, many times. But as a film, as a disaster film in this genre, it's a good film. It really is a good film. I really like this film, and I really recommend it. There's a lot of great acting on this part. On Gerard Butler's part. And there you have it. Anyways, that is my review of Greenland. I am gonna give it a. I am actually gonna give it an. I'll give it a. I'm leaning towards an 8, but I don't think it's that good. Okay, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. You know what? I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. It's actually a good film. It really is a good film. The cliche part is the only issue that I have an issue with. Is the only part I have an issue with, and that is the whole the family thing. Like they're always trying to coming together, right? I've seen that many, many times. But besides that, it really is a great film. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. As always, if you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Excuse me, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.